Total laps right now, 291. We're getting down to it, Eddie. About 30 or so laps left for this edition of the Snowball Derby. We're glad everybody joined us this afternoon via Prime Network affiliates around the country. And remember, we'll be back next year with a lot of great racing in the Hooters Cup Series, and we'll invite you to be along for a lot of those broadcasts as you're watching the leader, Jeff Pervis, now. And here comes Rick Crawford, you know, and the Crawford is being shown on the board in the 4th spot right now. And getting around Pervis, getting a lap back right now would mean an opportunity to get in and battle for the lead. And he gets it cocked sideways, Eddie. He really had that car almost turned sideways trying to get after Pervis.
You know, I don't want to say it, but I'm not sure Pervis didn't have a little trouble getting off the corner. I've been watching him, and Crawford just has tremendous forward bite up off of turn 4.
All right, do you fool with Crawford right now or let him go? I mean, if he's a lap down, do you let him go, Eddie? Or I mean, other than holding yourself up here in some way, shape, or form, is it better to let him go?
There's only 4 of you on the lead lap, you know, or 3 of you on the lead lap. There'll only be 4 if you let him go. So he's awfully fast. He could come back around and win this thing. So
I don't think he's going to have any choice here in a second, though. I mean, Crawford really is getting a bite up off that turn. Looks like he's just driving it up off the turn, and it looks like that Pervis is really staying down there trying to. Ooh, and he shoves Pervis coming off a 2. And that's pretty much a how do you do. I'm sorry, but either get out of my way or I'm getting you out of my way.
Now you let him go.
That was what I was asking you. Now, was Pervis smart to stay there when he saw he's got a mirror full of this guy, or just move out of the way? He almost took a chance on wrecking the car and being done for the day.
Well, yeah, but you got to make him earn it. You know, you just don't want to pull over, and when you know he's got that good of a race car, you know, now they have a caution. He's going to come all the way around and make a lot of distance up, and he's got a car capable of running with them guys. So
no question about it. And Crawford, again, is one of those guys, knows the Snowball Derby, knows you got to be around at the end. We're posting 297 laps. We've only got roughly 30 laps left to go in this 28th annual edition. And Crawford's really got to get a lot done. I guess my question was a second ago on Pervis, you know, does he really have time within the scope of things to make that lap up and be back there racing me again? Is that worth?
Not without a caution.
Yeah.
But at the rate we've seen cautions today, you know, it's a possibility. I'm sure Pervis was thinking that. You know, I'm not sure what was wrong with Pervis. He seems to be running okay now.
Split screen there. Got Crawford down at the bottom, Pervis up in the top. And, you know, when it's all said and done, he's not exactly pulling away. I mean, Crawford's in front of Pervis, but Pervis is staying right there with it. I think the big thing I'm starting to worry about now, if I'm Jeff Pervis, is where's Ron Barfield at?
Yep.
You know, well, if I'm not handling quite right down on the bottom of the racetrack, where is Ron Barfield? I got to tell you something, folks. He is not that far away from Jeff Pervis. If we get a chance to pan back a little bit and see where Pervis is, you'll be able to see that Barfield is drawing a bead on him right now. Barfield may have the fastest car on the racetrack.
I've got to tend to agree with you right now at this particular stage in the race. And, you know, as we all know, it's that last lap that counts.
300 laps on the board, the 28th edition of the Snowball Derby. 28 laps remaining, working lap 301 right now. Focused in on Rick Crawford. There is your leader, Jeff Pervis. And the only question I've got is where is Barfield in relation to Pervis in terms of the second place car? Lap traffic again going to become a factor. Barfield is probably about maybe a half a straightaway from catching the leader, Jeff Pervis. And will James Finch's luck hold out, or will this be his first win in the Snowball Derby? It's going to be an interesting finish to this thing. It really is.
I'm not going to talk about him. I like it. It's not because I don't like him.
You just saw in that picture right there, you just saw that blue car coming into the frame there just as we were following Jeff down the backstretch here. You just saw Ron Barfield. And, man, here's a guy running his first Snowball Derby who's got to be thinking, there he is. You just saw him at the bottom of your picture again. That's Jimmy Cope right behind our leader, Jeff Pervis. There's Barfield once again, just starting to catch him. If you're Barfield, what are you thinking, Eddie?
Well, you're thinking, I got to get through this lap traffic, and
there's a danger of using that car up, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Talking to him earlier today, he's an aggressive young man. I mean, he is got fire in the eyes, as they say. And right now, I'm sure if I was his spotter, I'd be up on the trailer, you know.
Well, there you see the distance. You see the distance between first and second. Now, the only thing that I've noticed, which kind of really plays over in Pervis's favor, is that on any kind of restarts, Pervis has been so dominant. You know, he's always jumped way out in front on any kind of restart. So even if we get a caution flag right now and can bunch the field back up again to give Barfield a legitimate shot at it, you know, Pervis is the veteran. You know, he's got the experience, and therefore you kind of got to say, well, you know, Jeff will have a good chance at beating him even if we get it bunched up in a caution. 307 laps complete, folks, getting down to it. Pervis has got to be thinking, what is going to go wrong? Every time that he's run this race, last year only 5 laps away from a victory in the Snowball Derby, and he was not to win it that time. He's got himself another legitimate shot at it this time. Jeff Pervis is maybe going to take James Finch, his racing career, to that one notch he's always wanted, a Snowball Derby championship.
Boy, he does want it bad, doesn't he? Talking to him yesterday, I mean, that's just all he's thinking about.
Well, put it in perspective. Here's a guy that's a multi-millionaire, James Finch, greatest guy in the world, lives for the sport of auto racing. You know, and he and Pervis have got such great chemistry for car owner and driver. Money's not a problem. I mean, put it out there. What does it take to get it done? But he is so upset that he has not won this race. I think right now there is no price you could put on what a trophy, and walking away with that trophy, the Snowball Derby, would mean to James today.
You're absolutely correct. This will be the longest 18 laps of his life now.
Getting down to it, folks. 310 laps complete. There's your leader, the Phoenix construction machine of Jeff Pervis. Pervis has basically been the dominant force this entire race. We've had very few leaders. You know, early on, Dave Mader looked like maybe the car that was going to have to, you know, really be the man to catch all day. His luck and his car's kind of faded back. Ron Barfield, to me, looked like it was going to be an accident the first part of this race at some point. Turns out this guy has got a legitimate shot at finishing second in his first ever Snowball Derby. Pervis, the laps are winding down, 312 of them. And again, at this point, only a caution flag is going to bunch this field back up to do anything with Jeff Pervis.
Yeah, and barring the mechanical problem, I don't think there's enough laps. Everybody's kind of stabilized right now as far as where Pervis is and such. There you see Mader running. He's still out there going around.
Boy, give a call to Dickie Anderson, you know, and we'll want to. Dick was injured in an accident a little bit earlier, a couple months ago, and is on the mend from that. Couldn't drive the race car for this race. Called on Dave Mader. Dave came over and said, "No problem, Dickie," and jumped in the car. Has done a great job. What a great finish for Dickie Anderson's team to get a good finish here today. But this guy, once again, the 51 car, Jeff Pervis, it's his race to lose at this point or to have problems with.
He's stretched it a little bit with Barfield. I've been watching it, and it's he definitely, if anything, has picked up a little bit of distance between the two of them. He's riding right now. He's looking at the gauges. He's hoping the lap cars don't do anything crazy in front of him. He's just listening to every noise. Probably holding his breath.
You know, I don't even think Pervis is going to realize what he's done if he wins a Snowball Derby out here today, because you know, Jeff Pervis is the short track drivers. You know, he's the guy. I mean, he's got that ability. He's got the reputation for it.
He's got the backing.
He's got the backing for it, and you know, he's been up there with big time Winston Cup racing, and he's done well at the things he's done. He's going to run the full Busch Grand National schedule next year, and you can bet that team will certainly be something that everybody will have to reckon with next year in terms of the Busch Grand National Championship. But for James Finch to finish this year up, it's almost like the appropriate ending, maybe. Not ending as in they're not going to run any more short track races, but almost that break point, you know, that maybe they've been looking for to go on now and say, okay, I've done it all. I've won in Nashville. I've won the Snowball Derby. Spin in turn number 1 and 2, and Pervis does a nice job of avoiding the Fryer car, the 61 machine. And guess what, folks? With 9 laps remaining, we got ourselves a caution flag. Okay. You're Jeff Pervis. What am I thinking now?
Why me? You know, this caution looks like it's going to get cleaned up pretty quick. But you know, in this series, they run the last 5 under caution, under green. So,
all right, let's get a quick commercial in. Get back here with the final 10 laps. Stick around, folks. It's not over until it's over, and it's not over yet in Pensacola.